Avoiding biases is one of the most complex parts of building products. It is very risky to get false positives and believe we have identified a rock-solid solution. And that is when we fall in love with the solution and build something that only we love, while our customers couldn't care less about it. Creating a pointless solution is devastating, and we must avoid it at all costs. So where does this come from?
It's all about questions. It's which questions we choose and how we ask them. That has a massive impact on our outcomes. When we strive to confirm what we think is correct, we may bias people and get false confirmations. However, when we seek to falsify our assumptions, we may uncover what we don't know and identify hidden opportunities. We recommend to follow a 3-step approach to avoid creating useless solutions. 1. Collect assumptions. 2. Strive for falsification. And 3. Adapt according to your learnings.
Whenever you start working on a solution, everyone around you has assumptions. Some are transparent and some are unspoken. You assume your solution is what end users want. You think they are willing to pay for your solution, or you assume they will know how to use your product. Naming your assumption is the first step to avoid useless solutions. To do this, we recommend using the following format. First, write down your assumption. Then write down the result you wish to observe from users. And lastly, document how critical the assumption is for you.
Let me give you an example from e-commerce. You assume satisfied customers are willing to recommend your store to their friends in exchange for a €25 voucher. And then you expect that every third satisfied customer will be interested in joining the referral program. This assumption is critical because this initiative becomes irrelevant if satisfied customers are unwilling to recommend your service. This is just an example. You should name your assumptions and categorize them. You can use an assumption matrix to facilitate prioritization and decision making. The more important the assumption is, and the less evidence you have, the faster you've got to work on it.
Many product teams now strive to validate their assumptions, which is challenging because you can easily fall into a confirmation bias. People believe their solution is correct and search for answers to confirm them. And believe me, you will find those answers. However, if you instead strive to falsify your assumptions, you are much more likely to uncover what you don't know yet. By validating, you encourage yourself to persuade end users to generate the answers you want, which is lethal for product teams. Instead, it's much better to try to prove yourself wrong so you remain skeptical. Keep a falsification mindset until you get objective evidence from end users. This behavior protects you from being biased and biasing your users.
Considering the previous example of the referral program, let's understand the two approaches, validating versus falsifying. Validating assumptions, you'd ask end users if they would recommend your service in exchange for a €25 voucher. Surprisingly, they would say yes because people are polite. And then you may show some prototypes and get more confirmation from them. And you become confident with the results. The question is, were they really a confirmation you're on the right track? By validating assumptions, you confirm your ideas are correct, limiting your learnings. On the other hand, when you try to falsify assumptions, you'd exchange openly with end users, trying to learn from their behaviors and interests. The goal is to prove yourself wrong and uncover what you don't know. For example, you could ask end users how they like the platform and ask if their family or friends are also customers. As you learn more, you continue exchanging and striving to get hints that falsify your assumption. Curiosity and openness are vital to falsify your preconceptions.
The last step is to adapt your actions based on the learnings you generated. Evaluate each assumption and decide whether you want to persist the implementation because the evidence was maybe convincing enough, whether you want to improve the solution as the result gave you signs of potential, you want to pivot your idea as there is potential but maybe a different target audience, or you want to drop the idea. as you proved yourself wrong. Be pragmatic and move fast so you can run through many assumptions.
Let's get hands-on. We believe experiments should be set up to falsify assumptions because this is rarely done. Most prototypes focus on how the real product would look and then strive for confirmation from users. However, we encourage teams to think of creating prototypes that falsify product ideas or reveal problems that would stay undetected otherwise. Start by asking yourself, what could potentially go wrong? Then design a prototype and try to evaluate whether that will happen or not. Example, you want to prevent users from providing the wrong shipping address. You think the last checkout step, checkout summary, is a candidate to easily get the wrong shipping address. To falsify this assumption, you create a prototype and intentionally insert the wrong shipping address. Then you test with end users, and if they don't notice the mistake, you've just identified a problem to solve. The shipping address wasn't prominent enough.
Exactly. So what are our key takeaways from today? Ensure you name your assumptions before you start.
Prioritize your assumptions according to their importance.
Strive to falsify your assumptions as fast as possible and prove yourself wrong.
Use tools to support you while falsifying your assumptions. The faster you learn, the sooner you succeed. Adapt your actions according to your learnings.
Great! If this video inspired you, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.
Thank you.